we're with a partner and we're trying to change them, then we're not really in love with the person that they are. We're like treating them like some sort of renovation project. And this isn't really fair. Hi, my name's Catherine, and we're talking today about why we shouldn't try and change him. When we fall in love with someone, we're falling in love with the person that they are. And the problem is sometimes when you're in love, you become blinded to certain things that perhaps you don't like about someone. And then further along down the road, all those little things that you initially ignored, you want to change. But that's not really fair, is it? Because actually, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with him. It's just he's not fitting your ideal. And by trying to change him, it's just not very nice. Yes? So for example, if you're with a man and he works a lot. Now when you met him, you must have known that he works a lot. Now for some women, they would love that passion. They would think, that's wonderful. He has this real passion and drive and he loves his work and that's great. And actually, I like my own company. I don't mind if he has to work late because I'm quite happy amusing myself. But if you then, further down the road, suddenly become disgruntled about the fact that he works a lot and that you feel that you're not his priority, then by complaining to him about the fact that he works, you're trying to change someone who was always presenting that person to you. So it's not fair. You met a man who was passionate about his job and you knew that right from the start. So you either have to accept that that's who he is, or maybe look for someone else, because you're just projecting onto him the version of someone that you think he should be, and you're not respecting who he actually is. It makes me laugh actually when I've come across, well, not laugh, but I've come across friends and they complain about their husbands, and there's nothing wrong with their husbands. It's just that there are certain things that they're complaining about that don't fit into their ideal. And it's unfair to someone to make them change who they are just to fit your box of what you think is acceptable. I mean, you might have a man who doesn't particularly like DIY. And by going on and on to him about the fact that he hasn't fixed this or he hasn't done that, you're disempowering him. You're making him feel less worthy in your eyes. And that just isn't very kind, because actually The man who doesn't do DIY will have lots of other amazing qualities that he does have, but you're focusing on the things that he can't do rather than focusing on the things that he can. Because women can be quite, they can really focus sometimes on the negatives. I mean, for example, if he is not a hugely sociable person, and you knew that when you met him, you knew he was a bit of an introvert, and yet you drag him out to social environments and you expect him to behave a certain way. And then if he doesn't behave in the way that you are expecting him to, you will be cross with him. But he never said that he was someone who loved parties or social engagement. You always knew that he was a bit of an introvert, and yet you're trying to change that side of him. How would you feel if someone was doing that to you? How would you feel if someone was trying to change who you are? It wouldn't feel very nice. And actually, by focusing on the behaviours that someone doesn't possess and berating them for it, you're just going to make that person feel less and less. And that's not very nice. I really think that respect in a marriage or a relationship is hugely important. We really do need to show and have respect for one another. Because actually, if you don't have that, I don't see how that relationship can healthily move forward. We shouldn't be talking to our girlfriends and complaining about our partners. Yes, of course, we can mention something if we have a problem, but it always amazes me how often you hear people complaining about their significant other. And I think, but you've chosen to live with this person. You've chosen this person to be your life partner. Surely that is something that you should be proud of and celebrating amongst other people and all the good and amazing things about them. It's things like that that can really knock relationships. We don't even realise that we're doing it. It's very easy to make that snide comment or little remark, but that can really, really chip away at someone's self-esteem. So I think when we're in a relationship, we really need to carefully think about the words that we use, because actually, when we can build someone up, when we can praise them for the wonderful things that they do, when we can recognize the talents and skills that they have, we then empower that person, and that just encourages them to carry on being great. Yet if we knock someone, if we're constantly making little remarks about this and that, and they're not very good at this, and no, they don't do that, then we're just knocking them down, and we're chipping away at their self-esteem, and that's really not nice. So we have to sort of think, when we're in a relationship, what actually is really important to us? Does it matter that he doesn't pick his clothes up and he drops them on the floor? In the grand scheme of things, yeah, what he brings to the relationship, are we going to just focus on that and be constantly annoyed and irritated by that? Or are we going to just let that slide? Because actually, there's so many more great things that that person brings to the table. So please let me know what your thoughts are on this, because I don't know about you, but I've been through relationships in my life, and I've learned, as we all do, everything is a learning experience, but I've learned how when we are in a relationship with someone, that we really need to accept that person for who they are and love that person for who they are. Understand that there will be things about them that we're not entirely happy with, but that the majority of them, the one that the person we've fallen in love with, their great things are far greater than the few things that we're not happy with. And you know, when you are in a relationship where you build each other up instead of knock each other down, that can be, that love that you share together and that wonderful encouragement that you give each other can be such an amazing, powerful force that is really something to be cherished. So I also think that when we learn to become whole as a person, when we can learn to love ourselves, then we don't need to worry about seeking validation from other people. So if you're with a man who is a man of few words, they say actions speak louder than words. If he doesn't tell you all the time that he loves you, that's okay. Understand that he's showing you his love in other ways. If it's something like making you a cup of tea, that is an act of love. He's showing you care. Don't berate him because he finds it difficult to say those words, because there are reasons why he finds it difficult to say those words. We just need to accept one another for who we are, and understand that we are happy and we know and value our own self-worth, and value that worth in other people. Okay, thank you for listening. Please do comment, let me know what your thoughts are about this, and please hit that subscribe button and that like button and come and join our ever-growing family. It's just so amazing. Every day I'm getting new subscribers and I am loving hearing the comments from you. It's just so great to hear from you and hearing you share your thoughts. So thank you. And we're just aiming to find that peace within so we can send all our love out. Sending you lots of love. Have a great day. Bye.